everyone, this is Hamma from the Araxis Global Network and PlanetSide-Universe.com. I was able to go out to Sony Online Entertainment about a week ago and check out PlanetSide 2. I was able to capture some gameplay footage for you guys. I didn't get a ton of combat because we had some issues recording with wraps, but we did get work through those, and I was able to go around and kind of get a tour of some of the different areas of the game that we really haven't seen yet. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And we'll kind of kick things off here with, toasting up some maxes and blowing up some Vanu, one of my favorite things to do in the game for sure. Alright, so let's get things started. So the majority of things took place over by Tech Plant Hvar. That's where the playtest took place. I'm going to go ahead and select a Prowler, and then we'll go ahead and freeze frame it, and we're going to talk a little bit about the customization system. As you can see here, you can change your primary, secondary weapon appearance, things like that. There'll actually be 40 to 60 vehicle weapons at launch, where you'll be able to customize your vehicles in any number of different ways. Aircraft have things like afterburners and flares and things of that nature. One of the appearance things that you can see here, that's actually headlights for the Prowler. So you can change out your headlights to be different colors. Some of the things we've seen also have been hood ornaments and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and get on our way here and head over towards Tech Plant Hvar as I get my bearings and head out. So I'll give you a little more of an overview of the map here in a little bit. When I look at it a little bit longer, we'll freeze frame it for you guys so you can kind of check it out. So here I am behind the wheel of a Prowler, which is a lot of fun to drive. It's really fast, as you can see, as compared to the first PlanetSide. It handles really well, and it takes a fair bit amount of damage as compared to the original one. So here I was driving, getting ready to go up, and realized that I couldn't go that way. So through the miracle of editing, I have now moved myself onto the road, and I'm driving towards the tech plant once again. So as I was driving up this hill, I was able to hear the various combat noises that were going around, and actually heard something that made me want to go up and check things out. See if you can hear it here. So as you can hear and notice there, the point actually turned over just before I got there, and I didn't actually get to see a fight, but I did go over there, check things out, and everything looked clear. So here we are. I'm actually in the tech plant area, kind of doing a little patrolling around to see if I can find any enemies to shoot at, because that's what it's all about, right? Killing some Vanu and NC, of course. So there's an enemy right there. I went ahead and took a few shots at him. I'll let the video here play through a little bit for you guys to check out, and then I'll drop back in. So as you'll notice here, there are actually, obviously this is a beta, there are some bugs that Max shouldn't be walking around like a statue like that and shooting at the ground, but that's what he was doing, so I was doing my best to kill him. Also, when you go from external to internal view, there's also some bugs where the turret is not facing in the correct direction, so that is not your eyes deceiving you, that is me trying to figure out what the hell is going on. As you can see, there's a mag rider there. The Prowler has a pretty cool double shot when you pull the trigger. It shoots 2 shells directly at the target. And, it's kind of an interesting weapon. It's a lot of fun to shoot, and I had a blast driving it around. So here, I couldn't figure out where I was being shot at from until I looked over there and saw that happy little lightning shooting at me, who ultimately took me out and sent me to the respawn screen. So as you can see, it is more than possible for a lightning to take out a Prowler or any heavy tank in this game, for sure. So here I am looking at the respawn screen, because obviously I died, and as you can see, the spawn points are all sorted by how close they are to you. Currently it lists everything on the map. Let's go ahead and freeze frame it for you guys so you can take a look at it for a little bit longer. So currently it lists everything on the map. While I was talking to the developers while I was there, they noted that they will probably sort that a little bit and change it so that it only lists things that are close to you. Another thing of note is related to the screen is that actually the squad spawn ability is not available by default. You actually have to train into it, as well as waypoints and things of that nature. So as you'll see here in a few seconds, I'm going to go ahead and select my squad mate, and I'm going to spawn on them, which will put me in a drop pod that I will be plummeting towards the ground at rapid speed. So the experience of drop podding in this game is about 1,000 times better than in PlanetSide 1, and you can actually steer the drop pod. You can't steer it a ton, but you can steer it a little bit to, if you see something close to you in the path, you can definitely land on it and kill it. I actually saw a mag rider get killed by a drop pod that fell on it, and I've actually seen a liberator also get killed by a drop pod that fell on it. It's rather amusing, it's fun to watch. It also means that you're going to need to keep moving in your aircraft or vehicle or whatever, because if you stay still for too long and somebody's drop podding in, they will definitely steer for you and land on you. So sitting around, not only because you'll get shot at, but because you could have a drop pod land on you, it's definitely not a good idea to sit around. Okay, so here I am headed into Tech Plant Hvar, currently owned by the VS, the dirty VS, and I didn't actually see any fights in here when I went inside, but I'll go ahead and play it a little bit, and I'll be quiet so you guys can hear some of the ambient noises and see me run around inside the Tech Plant for a little bit here. So one thing I wanted to touch on very quickly was the centralized UI that's at the bottom of the screen. That is actually toggleable. You can change that to the classic UI that we've seen in some past videos. So if you do want to change that, you definitely can. So we're going to go ahead and cut over to the drop pod here again, and I'm going to go in and get into a little bit of a fight so you guys can see some of the fighting mechanics. So one of the really cool things about this game that I've felt they've spent the most time on for sure is gunplay. It's a lot of fun. It's a blast. I love shooting these guns. I love running around with them and just kind of taking out enemies at a distance and close by. And you'll see some of that here in a second. So I'm headed in here. There's actually a capture point I'm going to run in here and get, and I'll encounter some fire and have some fun in here. So that was kind of embarrassing. My mouse got stuck on something, and so I was kind of flailing about shooting. You can see here I have my personal shield on, and I'm actually capturing the capture point for my Empire, so that we can actually hold this and begin to capture the tech plant. In a few seconds here, some guys are going to come charging in, and I'm just going to get owned. But hey, 3 against 1, it always works. Here we are looking at the squad spawn screen again. As you can see, I've already spawned on my squad mate, so I can't select him again. There's actually a long cooldown on that, and it's something that you can actually train up to lower as a squad leader. So something that I want to touch on really quick as we're staring at the equipment terminals over there is there'll actually be 75 weapons at launch for each Empire. So that means that you'll be able to have a whole crazy amount of different weapons to use and kind of switch out and use, in whatever situations you want to use them in. So here's something really fun that, well, it wasn't fun for me, but it'll be fun for you guys. It was my first experience with something here in the game. Yes, I got killed by a proximity mine. I went back and replayed that clip 4 or 5 times. I never saw the proximity mine, so I have no idea where it was. I'm sure it was probably there, but I didn't see it. So here we are in the famed biolab, Biodome, constructed by none other than Adam Clegg, who was actually standing behind me, showing me around the biolab a little bit while I recorded this. As you can see, it's its own self-contained little biome. There's a whole lot of cool stuff going on in here. It's going to make for some really interesting fights, some close quarters battle, because you can't get a vehicle in here. It is totally infantry based. And it's a pretty large, actually, area that you'll be able to get into and hide and crouch and kind of get into all the little crevices and have some really interesting fights. There are some capture points in here as well, and there's actually 2 vehicle pads on the dome, and I'll show you those here in a few seconds. So I just want to touch on the mission system here real quick while we're walking around giving you guys a tour. So one thing that is very interesting is that squad leaders can actually lay down missions for things like galaxy pickups and various support operations. So if you just want to fly a galaxy around, squad leader can actually put down a waypoint, and anybody who's on the current map can actually pick up that mission to do a galaxy pickup. So if you want to just play support, mission system will allow for that. So here we take a short trip outside, and we take a look around off the Airpad, and just kind of see the scale of PlanetSide 2, so you guys can get an idea of what we're looking at here. There's just a huge amount of space out here that battles will be taking place in, and there's one of the capture points right there for the base, actually. So you can visualize some of the tank battles and things like that will be taking place down there on those vistas. Another thing too to note is that every base is different in PlanetSide 2. You may have a tech plant, or you may have a biolab, or you may have an amp station, but every amp station is different from the next. The layout of the capture points, the type of capture mechanics, all those types of things could be different from one base to the next. So how you capture a biolab is not going to be the same every time like it was in PlanetSide 1. It is going to be different every single time, so you're going to have to think about how to take over this biolab versus another one. So coming up next here, we actually turned on a couple dev hacks so you guys could see a little bit of transition. We have seen this before, but it never gets old. It really doesn't. The night-day cycle in this game is just amazing. So here I took to the skies and just kind of took a fly around past an amp station and another biolab, just to kind of show you guys around a little bit. First part of it's at night, the next part's during the day. And as you can see right there, that is a personal waypoint. They're a little bit different in this game, but when you get close to them, you see the very familiar light beam coming down from the sky. So here I fire up the map real quick, and very similar to PlanetSide 1, I break it out and I set a waypoint so I know where the hell I'm going. I wanted to go give you guys a little view of that crater looking thing right there, because I was actually curious about it as well. As you can see, the waypoint shows up as that little icon off in the distance. So the aircraft mechanics in PlanetSide 2 are way different than they were in PlanetSide 1. I'm actually able to make my way around with fair ease, but I have had some practice flying around this Mosquito. So I mean, it did take some practice to understand and to fly better. I'm definitely not a pro with it. There's some devs that are just totally owning in the skies with these things. But it does take a lot more practice. It is not anything like it is in PlanetSide 1. And you know, it's actually kind of unique among the various games that have aircraft in them that you can fly around. I really enjoy flying. Still haven't decided that's going to be my primary role in PlanetSide 2 or not, but I'm really looking forward to flying around a little bit. So I'm headed back towards Tech Plant Hvar again. So as you can see, there's little outposts just scattered all over the landscape. This is going to make for some really interesting fights that are totally different from PlanetSide that we're used to, because it's gonna force people out from the bases. People are going to be contesting over these all the time, and it's going to make for some really interesting gameplay. It's going to be viable for small outfits to take those things and just hold on to them, and it's going to be a really very interesting thing. So here I took off straight at the sky to see how high the flight ceiling was, and there I am. I just stopped. So as you can see, it's not extremely high right now. So for our last clip here, I was able to take a spin across kind of the desert area of Indar. This is kind of on the northwest side of the continent. Just to give you an idea of how large the continents are, I just hopped on this bad boy and started driving it. Just to kind of see how far it went. It's a lot of fun to drive this particular vehicle. This is the ATV, and I had a lot of fun driving it around out on this tundra. Here you can see me totally pansy out. I wasn't sure if that was a cliff or not, So I actually stopped and took a look over the side to make sure that I wasn't going to kill myself, which is always an important thing in PlanetSide because you never know what's over the other side of the hill. There could be a bunch of Vanu waiting for me over there that I'm going to have to just mow down, because I would definitely mow them down if they were there. So as I was driving here, I saw that really cool bone-looking thing down there, and I was like, that's really cool. I want to go ahead down there and check it out. But unfortunately, as I was driving down there, I hit the out of bounds and had to turn around. On our July 14th interview with Matt Higbee, we actually talked a little bit about out of bounds markers, so be sure to check that out. The link will be here on the video. So that concludes the video. Thanks everybody for checking it out, and check out PlanetSide-universe.com and drop by, talk with the devs a little bit, and give us your feedback on PlanetSide 2. And soon enough, we'll all be fighting each other and shooting at each other down on those beautiful landscapes, and it'll be a blast. So until next time, this is Hamma from PlanetSide-universe.com.